Well, I don't know whether I'm live or not, so let's see where Andy is.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you? I've got my headphones on
Oh,
like you asked me to.
yeah, thank you. I'm just checking the tech. Anyway, thank you very much for coming onto my stream, Andy. The very famous Andy Edge, ex
I'm not famous.
EDL. Yeah, ex EDL. Well, a
Yeah.
lot of us respect you. Ex EDL, ex Britain First activist. Welcome to Squirrels, Red Squirrels Speak. Before we start off with the interview, and you've got a lot to say, haven't you?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, you have
I've
got a
kept
lot to say.
I've kept quiet very long, haven't I don't do these live feeds. In fact, this is the first time I've ever done one. Believe it or not, I've done it for you, Louise, because I actually like you.
Ah, thank you.
I think you're a good woman, and you're doing
Thank you,
good
Andy.
stuff.
Before we start, I'm gonna just do a few little gentle what do they call them? Warm-up questions. So and you weren't prepared for this, so that they're nothing scary.
Here
But
we go.
yeah, I'm just
Mind.
gonna fire them off, right? What's your star sign?
Libra.
Thank you.
Both sides of the scales, as I say.
Yeah, that's cool. Didn't know that, and not many other people will. Do you have a religion?
I'm a Christian. I'm a Protestant, but I'm a Christian.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing that. And what's your favourite animal?
I would have probably said an elephant, but I'm going to say a dog because I've just recently got myself a lovely dog. So
amazing, amazing. Mine too.
yeah.
Mine too. That and horses. Yeah. Okay.
A British
thank you.
bulldog, by the way.
Hey,
it has to be a British bulldog. Yeah, it's lovely.
Had to be. They're beautiful. The last question: who's the most? If you think back over your life and your time, who would you say that is the most inspirational person that has been or is to you?
Nelson Mandela.
Really? I wasn't expecting that.
Nobody would have been, but yeah,
definitely. No, I wasn't expecting that. Wow.
Freedom fighter.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Okay, all my questions are over. It was just like a warm-up. So now we'll get into the full interview, if you don't mind. I'm just going to ask questions. Yeah, well, I'm just going to ask.
I'm going to answer every question as truthfully as I can.
I'll ask open questions, Andy, but if you want to just go with the flow and tell your story in between the questions, because I'm not a professional interviewer, I'm not a professional YouTuber or whatever. I'm just a person that with a camera that goes around process. You know what I mean? So
I've been watching you.
Have you?
my camera skill. You're pretty good.
Oh, I don't think so. I'm not very good with tech, and I don't say much. So, when I think about you, I often watched you. Some not that many years, but it was years ago. It seems years ago now. When Britain's first took off. But before we get into that, can you just tell us where you come from and what what your background is?
I'm a Stockfordian, which is a Stockport lad.
Right.
Born and bred.
Okay.
Born down in Brinks Way, underneath the pyramid. What's there now?
Yeah.
Moved on up to the Bonner Estate around Edgerley. Went to local schools. Didn't really do that good at school. Left when I was quite young. Got working, and just tried to make something of my life, like you do.
Yeah. So just like a
trade,
tradition,
really. Yeah, I'm a landscape yarder. That's what I call myself.
Ah, right.
I've done
fencing,
paving, turfing, that sort of thing.
Yeah. So just would you say like a traditional English family then?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. 5 brothers and sisters.
Right, that's a big family.
Mum, stepfather, who's been married to my mother now since I was a kid, since I was born, really. Been together.
Really? Yeah.
So it was like me saying, Daddy.
Yeah. So quite a big family then. Yeah. So
Quite a
yeah.
bit.
So going through that, I mean, obviously that's really, people are welcome to see Andy the person. That's why I'm asking those questions. So
Yeah.
how I got to know you was on the TV screen and particularly on YouTube and through people who knew you who were in the EDL. So what inspired you to get involved in what can I call it, the right wing movement? I don't want to call it that, but into that kind of
That's what we all
activism.
call it, yeah. Tommy Robinson, I'll say.
Really?
Pretty much when Tommy set up with the Luton boys back in the day, I watched what he was doing, and I thought at least somebody's finally starting to stand up.
Yes.
I followed him. He did one of his second or third demos up in Manchester. I went to that. I sort of not got involved with, but I went to a BNP meeting, British National Party. Wasn't my cup of tea.
Yeah.
That's the first, pretty much. I met some good people there. Paul Rimmer was there. Some Mike Lane people, old school.
Yeah.
Right wingers, I call them. I'm still in contact with them all now. Good people. But it worked. There was too many racists involved with BNP, and I'm not as a racist. I'm not. I don't give a thing about anyone's colour or anything like that. So I went to two meetings and thought, no, it's not my. I listened to a few conversations, and they were just not my cup of tea. So I soon left it alone for a year or two, and then, like I say, Tommy. I started seeing Tommy what he was doing down in Luton.
In the
Started
EDL.
listening to what he. Well, no, it wasn't that. It was the Luton something at the time. It wasn't even called the EDL. It was quite a while before he actually called it the English Defence League.
The reason why I'm just checking.
Yeah.
Yes, go on.
So I just got involved with that a little bit. Went to the first demo we did in Manchester. A few hundred people turned up. Met some good people, some good contacts on that. And then I sort of kept away from it a little while again until it did start picking up, and that's when I got involved, really.
Because there was big numbers, wasn't there, in the EDL?
Back in the day, yeah. I remember going to Newcastle once. There was 10,000, and there must have been 20,000 people out on the streets clapping us as we walked through the city. That was amazing. Stoke was another good one. Thousands. We ended up taking Wetherspoons over for the day, and there were just thousands upon thousands of people there. It was amazing.
Don't see those numbers now, do you?
No, I watched the EDL. I mean, I went to pretty much every demo at one time.
Yeah.
I didn't miss it for ages, and I went there when there was 10,000. I was there when there was bloody 20 people. It was sad to watch, but people. A lot of it was to do with the media and the way they classed us and called us racist. But there was nothing to do with racist. I'll say something that Tommy's not a racist. I know that. I've met, I know Tommy personally. He's not a racist bloke.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had some good times. Met some good people along the way.
Yeah.
Went on some mad missions along the way as well.
Yeah, and a lot, although a lot of people do listen to the media about the EDL, they did highlight some of the big, the heinous crimes that were going on.
Yeah.
That had gone on before, and it was covered up. So I think that was the inspiration. I don't know, but I'm just from what I gathered, that was the inspiration of setting up the EDL in terms of a response to what was going on with the young girls. So
the grooming gangs. That's when it had been going on for years, even before the EDL was thing. It'd been going on for years. I seen it when I was a young kid visiting family in Yorkshire. I seen it with my own eyes then. I knew it was going on. People were talking about it, and Tommy had the balls and stood up and did something about it. Got a good group of lads together.
He did,
and we made good statements. I mean, we went to some places, and Birmingham city centre was a good one. Luton, I've been there quite a few times. I think I've been to near enough every town and city in this country, you know. I'm not just saying
Yeah.
that. I have been everywhere. Yeah, from Northeast, Yorkshire, Cumbria, down to Devon, etc. We've done everywhere and all over.
Amazing.
I've had some interesting times, I'll say that.
You have,
Very
haven't you?
interesting. Yeah, and I've met some good people, and I've met a load of bloody idiots as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
All that. Do you remember when it all came out? Tommy was this, that, the other racist, and all that. He wasn't. He was the one throwing people out left, right, and centre. The numbers dwindled because he was quite ruthless with it, actually, which was a good thing. Which I liked, even made me like him even more, because he was, you know, he wouldn't stand up. He'd stand. Myself personally, I've had more fights and kickoffs with racists. I've not raced some racist prick out with an F on his head outside Rotherham police station. That was, even the copper said to me, "Give me the nod." Bang, I knocked him clean out. Then what I have, lefties and, you know, Muslims as well, which is quite. Yeah, it has been interesting, I'll say that.
So when you was in the EDL, and it came to like an end, when Tommy left, was you still in the EDL then?
Yeah, of course was, yeah.
Yeah.
I kept it going when he was in jail and things like that. Not me, obviously. There was a good group of lads, mostly the Birmingham lads, Andy Sats and people like that. Just the Cockney, but you know, from all over the country. But the group of us, we all kept it running, bringing our own little divisions down and things like that.
Yeah.
It was good. I remember getting on coaches. Honestly, used to fill a coach from Leeds was a good one. All the Yorkshire boys used to come down. I used to jump on the Yorkshire coach, betting it was a better buzz than bloody anywhere else.
Yeah.
We used to laughing the way down there, and you know, good.
Yeah, good memories then.
Yeah, so really good.
So when that came to an end, because I'm trying to get into now, and it kind of fizzled out. Is that where you met Jada and Paul?
I'd met Jada a few years earlier. She was part of the EDL. Not many people know that, but she used to come out on the on a few demos back in the day. She looked a bit different back then, but yeah, she used to. That's how I first ever met Jada. I'd really kept away from Paul Goulding at the time. I thought he was a bit of a, well, I still do actually. I'm not going to say nothing good about Paul because he's a wrong one. We'll come to that in a bit anyway.
Okay, so it was Jada that you met first, and then and then so was you pally with her and everything?
No, not really pally. I just you know, look to say hello to on demos and things like that. She then disappeared. That's when Paul Goulding got his clutches into her, and Jada's a one-off anyway. She's just a one-off girl. I lived with her for 3 years. Lived at her house down in I won't say where, Tonbridge it was actually, but I lived there for 3 years. Travelled all over Europe with her and things like that. She's a one-off. I've never met anybody like her. I still speak to her now. She's a good girl.
Yeah, I like
a lot
Jada.
Of people
I've always thought...
In the last couple, since I've been saying I've been doing this video, a lot of people have inboxed me, and I mean, like at least 50 people have inboxed me asking, "Is Jada still?" Nobody knows what Jada's doing, which is a shame, really.
Yeah,
she's still definitely involved. People just need to Google and find out what she's doing, and I mean, I'll give her.
We'll give the party in the channel a shout out tonight, because I often watch her on her live streams.
She's good.
Yeah, and she's still active, isn't she?
Yeah, of course she is. Very much so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much.
Yeah.
So. After everything she's gone through as well, I just respect her because I've seen what she went through. You know, all her personal life, everything. You know, I've met a family. You know, really good people. And what happened to her was just absolutely disgusting. But like I said, we'll come on to that in a little while.
Yeah, and it's all very controversial, isn't it? I mean, I don't. People make things up, don't they? And the media get hold of it, and then everybody gets all I think things get hidden, don't they?
Yeah, there's a lot
And
of lies going
things are not
about.
said. And I know
Apparently,
there's quite.
I'm a lefty now, and all the rest of it, and
Yeah, that was said.
Jada's a lefty, and I know, yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's absolutely stupid, man. Just we'll come to all that in a bit. Let's
Okay.
do a
Yeah.
few more
We'll go
questions
through.
and things, and
Yeah, are we all right? Am I doing all right in terms of getting the timeline right?
yeah,
Are you
just about,
sure? Are you sure? Okay
yeah.
then. So, so what happened then? So you met Paul Goulding in the EDL.
Um, no, the first time I ever really met Paul was, like I say, B&P meetings. I heard him speak once or twice. Like I say, it weren't my cup of tea. I never really actually spoke to him personally until I'd been to loads of EDL demos, and then Tommy was in jail, and I remember sitting in my flat in Stockport, and it coming on the BBC about Rotherham, about the 1,400 girls from Rotherham who had been sexually abused by Muslims.
Yeah.
And I remember I'd been out the night before. I'll be truthful, I was hungover. I think it was news at 1 or something like that. I was just laying on my settee, feeling rough as hell. And I just seen it come on, and I thought, wow, because it was the inquiry, and they were just talking about how many the numbers, and
Yeah.
I was quite close to Rotherham anyway, because I've got family who live in that part of Yorkshire, and I
Yeah.
don't know what made me do it, but I just got up, literally didn't even take a coat with me. I just left me flat and jumped on the bus right outside my doorstep. I went down to the train station. I had a T-shirt on, like I say, a bit of money in my pocket, not much. I got got myself on the train to Rotherham. Oh, I took a flag with me, actually. Don't know why, but I did. I grabbed a flag on my way out the door. I remember getting to Rotherham all by myself and jumping a taxi down to the police station. And I remember going inside the police station, and there was a queue of people. And I just went back outside, had a fag. As I went outside, a copper came out on his radio, came over to me. "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm here to protest." He went, "About what?" I said, "About all these girls, what you've allowed to be raped in this town." And he
Careful with
just
the.
laughed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. And anyway, he just laughed and just walked away. And that just made me even
Unbelievable.
more angry. Yeah. So I just carried it on from there. I just went onto Facebook, told everyone where I was, what I planned, and what I was going to be doing. And slowly over the next few hours, people appeared. It was amazing. It was like, I got
Really?
there about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and by 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, we was having a barbecue outside Rotherham Police Station. About 50 lads and a few ladies. And then we was all thinking it was getting on a bit later, and the cop was like, "When are you going?" And I said, "We're not going, and we're staying there. We've not even got anything with us." Like I say, the next thing, I put a thing out on Facebook saying we plan to stay there, and there was cars pulling up with people with tents, people with quilts, and people with food,
Really?
drinks, whatever. Yeah, it was
That's
just
good.
crazy. And then it just built up and built up, and like I say, by the first night, we had about 50, 60 people there. We had about 5 tents, and it just
You
went
just
on.
don't get that commitment, do you, these days?
18 days I stayed there. 18 bloody
Unbelievable.
nights I slept in a
Honestly,
tent.
I
Yeah.
don't think many people know that.
I know, yeah. By the 18th day, which was a Saturday, we'd organised a demo. And like I say, Tommy was away in jail at the time. And people just turned up, and there was Scotland come down, there was coaches from Wales, London. It was brilliant. It was a good 4,500, 5,000 people turned up. I was bloody proud anyway.
Inspired by you. Yeah.
Yeah, not
well
just
done.
yeah. By that time, we'd got a few lads together, and we had a few of the main heads of the EDL come out as well, and it was good. It was just good at the commitment, and and the people were, and I weren't raising money like nowadays. It's sort of, we'll get onto that as well in a bit about this money part of it. But I weren't like asking for money and things like that. I was more bothered about a cup of tea and a bloody bacon butty and things like that. And that's what people were bringing, and people were trying to give us money. And the head of the social services was called Sean Wright. He'd actually, when all this 1,400 girls had been getting raped in the town, he'd actually been in charge of the social services. He then worked his way up the ladder and became the commissioner for police for South Yorkshire.
South Yorkshire.
So one of the coppers, who was like a liaison, pulled me to one side one day. They used to let us go in the police station and charge the phone and things like that. Pulled me to one side and give me he said, pass me a little bit of paper with an address on it. And I said what's this event? Sean Wright's home address. I said, right. That was after about the 4th day or something like that. So we'd had megaphones brought to us, so I arranged then for at least 2 or 3 carloads every night used to go to his house. I'd be on the megaphone shouting him out, saying, he was a disgrace and he had to resign. It all ended up in Parliament. I was actually sat in the town hall, and he got put in front of a committee of all the local councillors, and he actually turned around and looked at me and said, I'm disgusted that people are coming to my house. They're upsetting my daughter. And everyone in the town hall roared, because he was saying about his daughter was upset because I was there with a megaphone, and not asked about the 1,400 girls who had been raped in the town. The irony of it was just wow. Anyway, a few days after that, he got dragged down to London. The Prime Minister said he had to resign, and he still kept saying he weren't gonna. But the day of the demo, after 18 days, I mean, during this time, we got shot at. Muslims went past in a car.
You've said that.
We had loads of mad things going on. It was crazy. We were getting threatened. It was just. But we had the numbers. We had good. That's when I first met. Yeah. This is when I first met Paul Goulding and Jada Frasens together. We was all at the outside the police station. Straight facing the police station was the social services. Paul Goulding turned up with Jada and about another 6 other people, all dressed in the green jackets and the army gear and the hats and everything else. And they came over to us, and I'd always thought, nah, Paul's the work for me, because I knew he was a BMP and things like that. So, and like I say, we didn't want race. It weren't about anyone's race, colour, or anything like that. So he came over and tried to shake my hand down the edge. Well done, mate, and that. And I just told them to F off. Told them to piss off. We didn't want him around us, which he did.
Did you?
So that was the first time I ever met Paul. And then I remember Jada, and I was quite surprised to see Jada was with him and blah, blah, blah. Well, then I started listening to Jada's speeches, because she was good. Everyone's got her.
Very good. Oh, she was the face, wasn't she?
Yeah.
She was the face of Britain first. I'm sorry,
she made Britain first.
Yeah.
I know. Now all what's about Britain first now is money. Paul's making out like they've got these hundreds of people around the country still, and there isn't. Everyone pretty much when I left, I'm not bigging myself up, but all BFD left when I did. All the Britain First Defence, hundreds of people left. There was I spoke to a lady last night actually on Instagram, who's a lovely lady who used to come to Britain First, and her son is disabled. I'm not going to say her name, but she's probably watching this tonight. But she was a brilliant lady, and the son was as well. And Paul actually threw him out of Britain First, because she went with her son and a few other Britain First activists, went to a Tommy demo. And he used to call them all Tommyites. And anyway, he ended up getting rid of about 100 people that day, because he watched a video of Tommy's demo after he'd got out of jail and things. anyone who was seen who was part of Britain First who had attended his demo was then told by email they were no longer part of Britain First, and he threw them all out. It was disgusting, and they even threw this lady out and her disabled son. It was just unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
But anyway, that's Paul Goulding for you. So where was we? Yeah.
Right. So you met him.
We ended up at yeah. We met him. We had. Go on. Did I finally?
Well, I suppose what I want to know, like the timeline. I don't know whether it's going all right, but at the timeline is that Jada got with Paul, and then you did the protest, and then you saw Jada with Paul, and then when did you get together with them in terms of your activism in Britain?
It was a couple of years later. I actually went from after doing the Rotherham protest. I then carried on doing. I was still part of the EDL. It was dwindling with numbers. I mean, I'm not thinking the last decent EDL. Well, it wasn't an official EDL. It was Rotherham when everyone turned up for that. We had the Scottish Defence League. All the Welsh lads turned up. It was amazing. Anyway, that was the last good day.
Yeah.
And I remember a copper once saying to me, when we were just outside the camp one day, he said, "Ed, you know you're going to get your comeuppance for this." I said, "What do you mean?" He went, "They're not just going to let you walk away from this without." And that's all I laughed it off. I didn't think not of it. We had meetings inside the Rotherham police station with the Muslim Council of Britain, with the Muslim Youth Council of Britain. We actually all sat around tables and tried to, say, listen, this is not acceptable. It's not. It's something that has to be done. And we were promised that this was going to be done. That was going. Nothing ever was done. Where we was outside the police station, there was a canal. What used to run at the side of it. And I remember one night somebody coming to my tent and saying it was about 1 o'clock in the morning, and there's a lady here who wants to speak to you. So I'd had a long day, but anyway, I got dressed, got out of the tent, walked down the canal, met this lady, and it turned out that she run up in a part of Rotherham. She run like a Girl Scouts, like once a week, and she was a middle-aged lady. And she said to me, "Andy, I've been complaining to the police so long about this. Every week when we do our meeting, all we got is all these Muslims turning up afterwards in taxis trying to get the girls to go with them." And like, wow, and what? And the police hadn't done anything? No, nothing had been done. So that got brought up in the meetings, and we got promised that was going to stop. I met the brother of a girl who had been murdered because she got pregnant by a guy in Rotherham, a Muslim guy. And it was the stories what we heard in that town. It was just unbelievable, honestly. Like I say, I was there 18 days. I got to know quite a lot of people. I still speak to a lot of people from Rotherham now.
Yeah. So was really he there? Is that when you all got together?
Who, with Paul? Is that Paul? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
No, Paul just turned up trying to jump onto our demo more than anything.
So when did you become firm friends? And because I don't know
Paul Goulding.
Yeah.
I went to jail about a year after Rotherham. Tommy had got out of jail. I ended up attending a demo in Birmingham, and from the start we just knew it was trouble. The police had cordoned like boxes in, like they all do. Everyone knows what I'm saying when I'm saying boxed in. And the lefties were behind the police. They started throwing bottles of piss at us. They were throwing bricks at us, and we just knew. Tommy even said to me, "This is all going to turn," and we knew what was going to happen. And the police just closed in and had us all tightly knitted. Some of the lads obviously then started fighting back because the bottles of things were flying at us and people were throwing things back, and it just turned into a bit of a riot. To be honest, it was one of the maddest days I'd ever been. Anyway, right in the Birmingham city centre. And anyway, about 3 months after this demo, I'm at home at my flat in Stockport. I I got a phone call off somebody saying, "Oh, the police are onto us for a thing." I said, "Well, I didn't do anything, and I haven't done anything. If anything, I'd helped take the stage, and I've been helping Tommy get it taken out." Hello, hello. Sorry, someone's knocking on the door.
That's all right.
Who is it? Who is it? Who? I can't hear you. Who's me? I don't know. I'm gonna have to go stop a minute, love.
Well, Lee, keep it on.
Yeah, who is it? Yeah, it is. Yeah, who's it? Me's nobody. Who's me? Well, tell me who's me. Whatever. This is what I get living. This is just.
Oh, gonna see some action.
Who is it? Jack, I'm doing a live YouTube, mate. You'll have to come back. No, you'll have to come back in a bit, mate. Sorry about that. I'm live now, mate. You'll have to come back. Chris, Jack, I'm busy, mate. Go to Chris and you'll. It's like, right, go on. Sorry about that. What time? What time was it?
Never mind.
I thought he's somebody I know actually. I thought he was the old Bill or somebody. Right, where was it anyway?
Okay, so we're there where you're getting with Paul Goulding, yeah. So
right, no, right. I ended up. I ended up in Birmingham about in Birmingham, the riot and everything else. I went to work one day. My son ran me up, Declan, and said, "Dad, there's about 15 coppers in your flat. Busted you."
Yeah.
Like, what? Are you mad? He went, "No, seriously." And then next thing, a copper come and think, "Hello, this is DC, somebody from Birmingham CID. We need to speak to you."
Right.
Blah blah blah. And I got obviously, I left the job, went home, and got arrested. Got took to Birmingham, and I was one of. I think there was about 50 of us who had been arrested.
Right.
I ended up going to. We went to court. I had a bit of a. It went on for like weeks and weeks of court. I had to live with some girls in Birmingham. Some patriot girl who we knew. Traveling into Birmingham city centre every day. It was a nightmare. It went on for weeks and weeks and weeks. Anyway, at the end of it, I didn't do anything. They had a picture of me doing was holding a bin. What was coming at my head, one of them toilets, what people, what people pissing, all the blue toilet things. One of them, I put my hand up to stop it hitting me. That was the only evidence they had against me. Next thing, I got found guilty. So I told it, I took my shoe off, launched it at the judge, told the judge he was a fucking liberal left-wing fucking prick. And got sent straight to jail. Do not pass go. Everyone else got bail that day, but I didn't. I shouldn't have done what I did. I apologise to the judge for doing it, but I still got 21 months. I served my sentence. I went into Winston Green prison. On the day I went into prison, I was actually on the front page of the Birmingham, the main page what came out every day. Just one sec. No, let's go. Yeah, so I was on the front page of the paper, so you can imagine walking into Winston Green jail with all these guys all sat on the thing, all thinking, reading what they read in the paper. It was quite daunting anyway. But I did.
But it was. Yeah.
It was quite scary. I had some scary times in there, but I never got no trouble with anyone. Everyone was really good.
That's good then, isn't it?
Real good time.
So you came out.
Excuse me. Yeah, so I came out, and I went to another demo. Me and my nephews, and then all of a sudden we got a phone call one day off some guy called Graham. I used to know him from the EDL back in the day. He was calling the Yunnan monster. He was a big old lump. And he ran me out of the blue one day and he said, "Do you fancy coming to a barbecue, mate?" I said, "Whereabouts?" He went, "At my house down in Leicester." So I said to my nephew, "Do you fancy it, Sean?" And he said, "Yeah, let's do it." So we went down there, and it was just the weirdest experience ever. We found out later Graham was working for MI5. I know it sounds a bit far-fetched, but he was. We got
There's a few of
later
those,
on in
isn't there?
yeah, there's quite a few plants, we call them. Yeah, there's quite a few of them. I could name quite a few, but I won't. But I know who you are, and you know, they know I know as well. But it turns out Jada was having an affair with him, and
Right.
Paul had found out, and this Graham guy was. I don't really want to go into the story because it's a bit too.
No, don't.
Yeah,
Just link it up with where you get in with Paul and Jada.
right. So after we got to know this Graham, Jada ran me out of the blue and said, "Hi, how are you doing?" I said, "I'm good." Look, bloody hell, last time I seen you, Jada, was in Rotherham. We thought, yeah, and I've been watching the videos. She said, do you fancy coming on one of the Britain First demos? I said, "Where is it?" "Rochdale." I thought, yeah. So I said, "Yeah, we'll go." Ended up meeting up with her.
Andy, when did they set up
Yeah.
Britain's First then?
About 3 years earlier. It had been
Right.
going a little bit, but it hadn't really taken off. They were
Right.
getting in numbers a little bit, but only like 50s and 60s turning out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they were still wearing the green uniforms and the flat caps by this time. It was like a military. They were buying ex-army jeeps from Northern Ireland, and it was just messing about, really. It didn't really take off, I'd say, until Jada got on the stage, and Jada became the face. Jada became the face of Britain First. That's when Paul began to see how much money he could earn off Jada, and that's when he started harvesting everyone's email addresses, because that's where it all comes from. As soon as you give your email address to even Tommy, or whether you give them to Britain First, as soon as you do that, they've got you. Once they've got your email, they've got, the way they look at it is they've got you. When they say they've got you, it means that they're then gonna just throw loads of emails every day at you asking for donations after donation. So anyway, this thing happened with Graham. I went to Rochdale, met up with Jada properly. After the Rochdale demo, they all went back to an hotel. I'd been there. God, people are trying to ring me now.
Bloody hell. Somebody at the door, somebody on the phone.
It's just, it is what it is.
Is it Paul
I usually have a
Goulding?
quiet life. Everyone at once. Yeah, so after this thing with Graham, and I just got another phone call. No, they all went back to this hotel in Rochdale. I didn't go because I was with Banksy, and it was Banksy's wedding anniversary. I remember it, so we said, no, we're not going to go. We ended up coming back home early. The next morning, we got a phone call. Paul had apparently raped a Polish girl who actually spoke at the Rochdale demo. He got accused of rape. It was, I don't know what to say about that either.
Well, just be careful.
I know I've got to be careful for you, you and your channel.
You keep using that. No, don't mind that. I don't mean that. This channel hasn't got hardly any subscribers. I'm demonetised. I'm not bothered if it goes tomorrow. It's not that. I don't want you to go into the litigation for yourself.
Everyone knows that.
Well, I'm just saying. But the other thing is that R word. I want people to see the video. You do. So if you keep saying the R word, I'm not sure I'll.
I know.
Do you know what I mean? You've got too late now. You said it. But...
Yeah, I've said it. I know. Some girl accused him of it. Nothing ever comes of it. But to get away from it all, Paul decided to leave the country.
Right.
Out of the blue, I got a phone call of Jada saying, "Do you fancy a weekend in?" I mean, I'd literally got speaking to Britain First a week earlier. I'd been to the demo. I spoke to him the week before. Been to the demo in Rochdale. Then all of a sudden, I got a phone call asking me if I fancied a long weekend in Lanzarote. So I said, yeah, I'd love. You know, I'm not going to say no. I mean, in my eyes, I was going to be pulled in and be made part, asked to be part of Britain First. Well, that's what happened, really. But anyway, that's what I was. That was my reason. It was only later in the, like, I then got asked to go down to meet at the airport. We got on the plane. We got to Lanzarote. There was me, Paul, Jada, and one other lad. And he ended up going home after a few days, and we ended up in a villa with our own pool. It was just amazing. It was gorgeous. And Paul and Jada
must have cost a lot.
Worked together. It cost a lot of money, yeah. I remember the first night, Jada was in the bar. Paul went outside and asked me to go out to like watch his back because there was a few people in the bar who knew who he was, and it was getting a bit leery and things. So Paul said, "Can you come outside with me?" Just why? He didn't tell me why. I went outside, and it was the next thing I know, it was the next thing. He was going into a jeweller's, what was open at like bloody 12 o'clock at night, a proper nice jeweller's. He went in there, but I remember him doing it, and I thought, wow, bloody hell, they must have a lot of money. But he spent over like 3,000 quid of donations on a diamond necklace. And he went, but yeah, this was all just to try and get Jada back, because they'd been together. Jada had tried to say, I told him, I mean, I was there many a time when she told him straight, she didn't want nothing to do with him and to stop what he was doing, but he just won't give up. He thought he could buy it, but Jada was just like, what even asked? Jada's not, I won't say to his, she can't be bought anyway. Nobody's going to just buy her a diamond ring and think that she's going to swoon at her feet and swoon because he's given her a diamond ring. But anyway, he bought her this diamond bracelet. It was about 2.5, 3 grand or something like that. He gave it her, and she would just weren't too bothered saying, don't mean we're back together. I was like, Jada was saying to me in the background, I wish he'd just stop this. He just don't give up, She was sick to death of him, to tell you the truth. She just didn't, she said to me, I just don't fancy him, How can you be with somebody if you can't even, if you don't even fancy him? But Paul just won't take no, and he just never did. So from there, we ended up, me thinking it was only going to be a few days. I just bought like a little rucksack with a couple of clothes in and things like that. We ended up then going from Lanzarote. We then flew to Luxembourg. We flew to Zurich, Switzerland, Zurich. And from there, we ended up staying in Switzerland a few days, went to Luxembourg, all these countries you wouldn't believe. We went to Germany.
And what were you there? What were you there as? The bodyguard?
I was a bodyguard for Paul and Jada.
Ah, right.
Because there was the videos at the time. Then were getting 1 million views on a video. That's when Britain First really lifted off. Like Jada started doing her speeches, like in Rotherham, and like the months before she was doing speeches, and the videos were getting pure views all America, Canada.
Yeah, there was a lot. There was a lot, weren't they?
It was amazing. Yeah, that's when it really picked up. And in my mind, I was just there, been asked for a weekend, maybe to get on board. But then Paul was speaking to me saying he wanted me on board to be like the head of security and to look after him and Jada and things like that. And I just went along with it. I thought, I'm not going to say no. It was, there was never a wage. I weren't like enticed by money because I've never been in the right wing for money.
Yeah.
I've never once received a wage of anybody for. I don't care anyone. I haven't.
Yeah.
From Britain First, I was never on the wages. Everyone else on board Britain First, we're getting wages. Right. I was just happy with me packer backy every week. A bit of my dinners, we used to.
Well,
don't get me wrong. We used to be eating some. Go on.
The thing is, when all this arguments started with you and Paul, he released some audios of you asking him for money. So
Yeah,
everybody
200
must
quid.
have assumed at that point that you were on the
Yeah.
payroll. You know,
I was
he played
never
it on
on the
the
payroll.
internet. He played
Yeah,
it on the
I was
internet
never
saying, "Oh,
ever. I know.
can you give me £200, Paul?" and all like
Yeah,
that. Do you remember when he put that out?
yeah, I remember because you know why? My daughter had bothered him when Paul first got out. We have to go back because we're jumping ahead and going back. But anyway, when Paul and Jada
Sorry.
both got sent to jail and things, when Paul got out of jail before Jada, there was no money. There was not a penny. Britain First had gone bust pretty much.
Yeah.
And somebody in my family borrowed Paul money, and he was slowly paying back, slowly. He
Right.
did eventually
Okay.
pay it all back, but that was what the money was. That's what the talk was about then. The last
Okay. Thank
couple
you.
hundred quid what
Right.
was owed. Right. So
Sorry for
anyway, we ended up.
interrupting.
No, that's all right. We ended up all over Europe. Like I said, we went to France, Belgium, Holland, you name it. On my birthday, we ended up at a beer festival in Munich. It was just amazing, you know. I was getting bought new clothes and things like that, and
Oh yeah, but it was
get
really good.
me meals. We were drinking in, you know, we were meeting.
Yeah.
We were meeting MPs from France who were driving us in their brand new Jag all through Germany. We was on the autobahns doing 200 mile an hour and things. It was crazy. It was just we got invited to a conference in Paris. I'll always remember it was one of the most maddest, craziest days ever. And we got to the conference, and all these groups from all around Europe, the right-wing groups, similar to Britain First or the EDL, but in different countries, everyone had gone to this conference. And we turned up in the car with the MP from France and myself, Paul and Jada. Vincent, he was called. I'll always remember. He used to always go, "Man, I like me fags," as everyone could tell. I like my cigarettes. I remember smoking in the. He said, "Andy, put out your cigarette," because I used to smoke right up in his jag and all the rest of it. And, it was funny. What a character. I'll always remember Vincent. But anyway, so when we got there, first thing I noticed, we got out of the car, and all these crowds of people were swarming over to Jada.
Yeah.
Because Jada had been doing her speeches, and everyone was like not really too fucking fussed about Paul. And Paul's face, he didn't. That was the first time I ever noticed it. I just noticed his face. He hated it.
I always thought that. I always thought there was
Yeah,
a lot of jealousy. A lot of jealousy.
proper jealousy. Proper jealousy was. He hated it because he, you know, he in his mind he'd give Jada the platform, and Jada was like the star attraction.
Well,
Like,
she's a
he always
good-looking
thought he
woman.
was
She
going
can
to be.
talk well.
Yeah.
She's a good-looking woman. She can talk well. She's
She
got
could rouse
fire.
everybody, honestly.
Yeah, definitely.
We went into the conference, and it was all. There must have been, I'm not exactly, probably 300, 400 people all at tables. Everyone, you know, and the Le Pen family was sat on the stage. And out of all the people in this conference, as soon as it all started, I think the Le Pen's family, all like I say, all sat up there. Who got invited up onto the stage? They came over, some of these big bodyguards, all dressed, you know, just suited and booted, and come over and got Jada, and came over to Jada and invited Jada up onto the stage.
Yeah, they would.
And but myself and Paul went as well, but it was Jada that walked up on the stage, and Paul hated that as you know. I just thought to myself, he hated every little bit of it. But
so they were the big memories, weren't they? They were the good times, and they pulled a lot of crowds.
Yeah, I got actually made, right. A lot of people don't know this, but whilst I was there, and it was only an honorary thing, but the Le Pen family are quite a big political family in France.
Of course. Yeah,
they've been the last election. They got swindled out of it. They won the last election, but they ended up.
Well,
with
her dad
Macron
was, wasn't he?
Yeah,
her dad
of course.
was a big politician, wasn't he?
Marine Le Pen, yeah.
Yeah,
they were a big political family, and they had their own bodyguards, what are called the Musketeers, like you know, the Musketeers back in the day. And I was like outside of the conference room, all in one of the corridors, and all these big men come over to me and came over and started kissing me on both cheeks, and I was like, "What's going on?" And Jada said, "They want to make you a Musketeer." because I was the head of security for Britain First. They made me an
Yeah.
honorary member of the Musketeers. They presented me on stage to give me a bloody, like me dad. I've still got it actually, like a gold thing, like a medal sort of thing. I got a ring. I got a few bits and pieces. It was quite. I was honoured anyway. Quite a big moment.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's when I first noted the jealousy of Paul Goulding.
Yes.
So he hated every little bit of it.
Yeah.
In his mind, he was the one. And
when did you? Are we allowed to talk about some of the stuff that happened between them two, or is that still ongoing? I mean, as Jada said that we can.
Yeah. There's nothing we can't talk about.
Yeah.
All I can't talk about is my court case, what's still ongoing.
Yeah.
That's to do with me and Paul. I'm not allowed to speak about that. I've spoken to my solicitor. He rang me today, funny enough, and he said, "Don't talk about that. Don't talk about this. But anything else, you're free to speak about."
So
a lot of things went on.
Yeah, can I just ask you specifically? What you lived with them on and off, didn't you? Because you went over there. You went to.
Yeah, I lived with him for 3 years. I lived at Jada's house for about 18 months.
So when did you see it start? Because I looked doing a bit of research before I came on, and I looked at Jada's interview, and she said when she gave an interview, and she said it started about 6 months after their relationship. When you were living with them, did you see anything?
Every day.
Every day.
It was just mental. It was as simple as this. Jada did not want to know, and Paul wouldn't take no for an answer.
Unbelievable. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I can go with
I'm
that.
not exaggerating.
Let's go with it.
I used to jump in between. I used to have to stop him hitting her. I've seen him hit her that many. I've seen him throw bottles at her. I've seen all sorts of mental things going on between them. It was just unbelievable.
What did you do? What did you do?
I had to stop. Just stop. I think it got to the point where Jada didn't want me not to be around her, because I was the only one who could make sure Paul didn't do what he was doing. I mean, everyone knows I don't like Paul Goulding, but I don't have to make any of this up. He was a fucking animal with her. He used to hit her, and she used to put her makeup on herself. I mean, don't get me wrong, Jada can have a little cold. She's not a soft lady, and she used to defend herself. She had to. But I'd go upstairs and go to bed like 1 o'clock in the morning, and next thing they're screaming, shouting. I'd have to run downstairs, and they'd be there trying to grab her by her hair and hit her and things like that. I used to pull it. I had to stop him all the time. I used to speak to him all the time about it.
Andy,
he used to lock her in the house. That was another fucking thing.
Yeah, I heard that on the. What I'm going to say to you is, knowing all that, this is I don't know whether you know that I'm going to ask this, but I'm going to do it because I wanted to ask you. Right.
Yeah.
Knowing all that, when Jada finally left him, why did you stay around with Paul Goulding? Why didn't you support her? Or why didn't you come out? Why didn't you come out when she said that? Right. Why didn't you come out and support her?
Well, when she made the videos and that.
Well, when she disclosed it,
I didn't have a platform to do it. Like I said, this is the first time I've ever done a bloody video.
Is it?
I'm only doing this. I'm doing this video for you, by the way. Nobody else.
No, and you say it's for me, but I didn't want to do it initially, did I?
I know.
Right. Yeah. So
let me explain that. Let me explain.
Right. I never asked you to do this interview.
It's just right. Here's what happened. Right. After us coming back from Europe and things like that, I'd lived with him for a while down at Jada's house. It was crazy. Every day there was something going on. Jada, I don't know if you remember, I've tweeted a few videos, and of all the people in all the world to retweet her was Donald Trump.
Yes.
There wasn't Britain First videos, there were Jada's videos.
Yes.
But Jada was obviously part of Britain First. So that all just exploded. We was in central London with days and days in an hotel getting interviewed by newspapers from Japan, America, Australia. It was just crazy. It was just, it made headlines across the world. It was, it was talked about in the Houses of Commons, and at the time, like I said, I was at the security, and it was just mental times. But in the background, just before I joined up with Britain First, they'd done a video about halal meat. I wasn't there. It was, like I say, just before my time. They did this video, and it caused quite a commotion in the halal food authority. Took them to the Crown Court in London. And anyway, in the background as well, there was both up for a video another video what they'd made outside a kebab shop down in Kent, which involved a grooming. No, it involved a young English girl being I won't say the R word, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
By 6 Turkish men in this kebab shop, and
shocking.
They made a video, and they then got arrested because we actually got pulled in the Kent countryside. We were driving in a Skoda car through the country lanes, and I've never seen not like it. Armed police jumped out of edges. It was just crazy. I've never seen. It was just like an ambush by all these armed coppers. Jada and Paul got arrested. I got arrested, but I got released because I was not. They wanted to be. They got arrested because of this video they'd made. Because apparently the judge had made an order that it wasn't allowed to be, no reporting was allowed on the case. So, but they did this thing. They released a video. It had 1 million views all around the world, and then the judge then put an order in, and they got arrested for it. They got bailed. It was out for a few weeks. They ended up they going to court down in Kent, and as everyone knows, Jada got 9 months and Paul got 4 months. Paul wasn't on the video. Jada was. Jada was the one shouting it.
Is that why she got 9 months?
That's why she got 9 months.
Paul I didn't know that.
Yeah, Paul was the one who filmed it. Jada was the one who, like she did, she didn't give a shit. That girl fed into
she
her.
didn't.
She was.
She's amazing.
She was. Yeah, she still is. Like I say, everyone needs to check Jada out. She's still going. Don't anyone think she's retired. Yeah. She's still doing her thing, She's not so much anti-Islam so much. She's more, she's got quite a few anti-abortion things, what she does. She does, she's got a lot of views, whether you agree with her or not. She's a good girl. She's Jada Frasens. And like I say, I've met many women. There's only one Jada Frasens. I say that to her every time I speak to her, actually, and she laughs. Everyone used to sing it. There's only one Jada Frasens.
Yeah.
Paul used to say that as well. Yeah, he used to say it. So they both got sent to jail. I got left with both their phones, their wallets, and everything else. And it was just crazy. We'd been to Ulster a bit as well, just before that, which was another crazy experience. We even stayed over there for quite a while and caused quite a commotion. Jada got into the mayor's, into County Hall. We all went into the main bloody big, massive building. Jada put on the mayor's robe and sat in the chair.
Did she?
That caused quite a commotion. It was, there's a lot of things going on. I've had some amazing times, I'll say that.
Yeah, you are.
The world and,
but my question was, why did you stay loyal to Paul?
Quite simple. I was hoping that when they both got out of jail, they were going to put the differences aside, because Paul was still not giving up that he could get back with Jada and things like that. He just, like I say, he wouldn't take no for an answer, and he just went on, and he was just. Paul got out obviously early. He only got 4 months. He was out after 8 weeks. I went and visited him in
I heard jail.
That. Yeah, that was quite thing as well. Me and his dad drove up. Literally got there with 1 minute to spare. That was quite a journey as well. Anyway, so Paul got out earlier, so I was still around, and I was like left holding the fucking holding the phones and holding the, you know. The old bill actually thought I was left in charge of Britain First, but I don't even know how to use my bloody Facebook. Never mind run Britain First. You know, I don't do computers. I do everything I do on my bloody crappy Samsung phone, what I'm using now.
Were they in jail at the same time as Tommy was in jail?
Yeah. Can I just say, I myself have served for the right wing more jail time than Tommy and Paul put together and doubled. But I don't make a thing of it. You know, there's other people like me as well. I know many of good people in the right wing who've done it. They don't make a show and dance about it, and they don't raise money. I've never once raised money. I did a few months ago. We did a little thing for Lee Rigby, as you know, Louise. That all went a bit.
Don't.
We can't get into that.
I'm surprised I'm even talking to you.
Oh no, that was another mad one. We got followed all the way back from London. We got followed by the SO15.
Please don't go into it.
We can't speak about it. We can't speak about it.
No, because I had bloody people around my house and everything.
That's another thing. I'm not. It's been quite an experience. I'll give it that. From prison to bloody. I've been in jail with Tommy in Bristol jail. I've been all over.
Have you?
Let me just say, I have got respect. I have got respect for Tommy. I know a lot of people have. A lot of people will be sat watching this thinking, "Go on, call Tommy, and that." But I'm not going to. Yeah. I'm not. He's not bad. He's not a bad apple. He's a good bloke. His heart's in the right place.
Well, money people love to comment, don't they? Look, people all have their own. People all have their own opinions about all the people that I mentioned tonight. And you.
Yeah, I was the person who actually, Paul always hated Tommy, and Tommy was never a big fan of Paul's. And it was me. I used to get that many inboxes of people because everyone knew that I was good friends with Tommy, and they also knew I was good friends with Paul. I was obviously working with Paul. And the amount of people who you say to me all the time, "Come on, get them to work. Imagine if we could get Britain First with Tommy and we could get them together, how big it'd be." And blah, blah, blah. So I did. I was the one who got them together. That's another story as well. I can tell you.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Bloody crazy.
I remember. I get it. I know that it's like it's really it's a bit difficult to say, but you know, people have called you out because Tommy did a video about you talking to Hope Not Hurt. They also
what did it say? What did it say in that video? The recording is, Paul, just to let you know that the fucking that social services are going to get onto kids, and they're going to, you know, I was warning him for fuck's sake. That's all it said. But Paul's a good editor. That's what he does. All the videos, he can cut them at a certain thing, and then he can put like a recording together. He's a master of doing it. I could tell you, like, here's another thing what everyone needs to know. Right? When it was going on with Jada Frasens, let me explain how sinister it got. Paul got that thing. He had a tracker put in her car, right? He had a mobile. I know people, you can do it nowadays where you can track a mobile phone. He even had me on a Sunday. Listen to this, right? On a Sunday, we drove up to her mum's, who lived out in the way in the country, in a beautiful house. He had me climbing telegraph poles on a Sunday morning at bloody 9 a.m. on a Sunday morning, wearing a pair of overalls in a grey van, like a proper roof rack with ladders, climbing up a fucking pole to put a CCTV camera so we could watch every movement she made. That's how sinister it got.
Yeah, but why did you agree to that? Why did you agree to that?
Because
just be honest.
I don't know. Because I let Jada
maybe you
down.
were carried. Maybe you got carried away. Do you?
I don't know what. I don't know. I sit back now and think, why the fuck did I let it happen? You know, why didn't I stand up? Because out the pair of them, I was friends with Jada more than what I ever was with Paul. You know, I don't know. It's because Paul came out of jail first, like I say, and in my mind, I was keeping Britain first together because I knew when the day they went into jail, Jada and Paul had a big argument that the evening before. Me and Paul had been throughout Jada's house and had gone and stayed in an hotel in London, so we was ready for court in the morning.
Yeah.
It was just, you know, and in my mind, I thought I can keep these two together, even if it just as working together. And if I could get through to Paul that Jada wasn't interested in that way in him, but I don't know. I just went and I just don't know. I regret it,
Okay.
but and
Oh, that's
I've
fair. Fair
apologized
enough.
every time I speak to Jada. I apologise every time, and I don't think she'll
Well,
ever
Jada's
forgive me.
got a
But
big heart, isn't she?
I know,
You know what I mean? She's moved on with her life and is doing really well.
she
So,
has, yeah, she has moved on, which is good.
you know, and I think sometimes when you're like a developed person and you're not stuck in those really childish, emotional, you know, like you see it all the time, don't you?
Yeah,
Then I think she isn't one of those people. She can rise above it because she's got talent. She's a strong person and she's moved on with her life and made something of it. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
So
yeah.
let the other people, you know, continue to spew their whatever they're doing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. How long have we
But
been on thing for? How long has this
yeah,
gone on for?
well,
Anyway?
we've been on an hour and 6 minutes,
Bloody
and
hell. I've not even told you.
I
I haven't even said half the things I want to say, but I'm getting
right,
tired of
okay.
this.
Well, Pete,
I want to
yeah,
stay online and do some. I want to answer some questions what people might fire at me. So I'm up for that if you want
right.
to
Well,
do a
I
half
haven't
hour.
been looking.
But
I haven't been looking at the comments, so I'll
right.
try my best. I guess that people will probably want to know about the hate not hope thing because we haven't really covered that in you haven't
Well, let's
explained
go
that.
on. Can we not do that on the next time? Let's do another
Okay, fair
video.
enough.
Because I've not even said a third of what I say. There's loads
Yeah,
and loads
okay.
of things that what people need to know as well. We haven't even talked about the money. This is what I want to do a video for about the donations, about people
Oh
and
yeah,
what you called. I mean, like I said, I was the one who got Tommy and Paul together. I was the one who went to every meeting when they first had the meetings together. I was the one
yeah,
who had to listen to what was said, and I was
yeah.
just, I was shocked by the pair of them, and that's what I want to talk about. We'll do that on the next video anyway.
Right,
We'll
okay.
get into that one
Yeah.
rather than what we've just
Funding,
done, rather
funding
than
and
what we've.
donations. A lot of people ask for donations and then whatever they've asked for doesn't appear, does it?
No, it goes.
Do you know,
It goes on
apparently that's
life.
what people tell me.
It goes on lifestyles. Let's put it like that. And
Right,
fine
okay.
wine, fine steak. I could tell. Let's go into it next time. Unless any of the questions, let's just answer a few of these questions. But we
All right,
will do another video.
can you see anything? Can you see anything?
What comments?
Yeah.
No. You just you.
Neither can I. I'll have to make the screen thing.
No, you do what you're doing, and you just ask me questions, and I'm going
All
to
right,
answer
okay, right. Look, Nib.
But let's not
Nib
go on
says
to
that.
the if we let's keep away from the
Nib,
second video, which I want to do
text me some
if you're up for that.
questions, please. You've done all right, Andy. Thank you. You all right?
Yeah, I like speaking to
Are you
you.
all
You're a
right?
good girl.
Are you all right? Are you all right? Yeah, good. All
Who,
right.
me?
Because sometimes, yeah, this shit brings back memories, doesn't it?
No,
Sometimes.
I love daft. I've got quick score
All right
quite
then.
you
I
see.
know. It's me being
But I do want to
whatever that means.
I do want to say a lot more. I mean, I've kept away from the. I'm still right wing. I'm still gonna be me. I'm not a
Somebody's asked. I
lefty.
think somebody's
Go on.
one of my moderators said. Do you take coke? I think somebody called English Nationalist says. Do you take coke?
Do I take coke? When I
As in
was
the
younger, I
drug?
used
Yeah,
to like. Yeah, I used to when
yeah.
I was younger. Yeah, yeah. I'm
Oh,
53 now. I'm a diabetic. I take insulin. I take I
yeah.
think 17 or 18 tablets per day. And I think if it was to start doing coke nowadays, it'd probably kill me. So no, I haven't done it for many years.
Yeah.
Do we drink? No. I used to drink all the time, and I don't really even drink anymore. I went out a couple of weeks ago to meet an old schoolmate. The time before that was last year when I went Corfu.
Mm.
So I don't really drink, but I do smoke. That is my number one.
Yeah.
And it's not an habit, an hobby. I love my fags. I admit I do.
Yeah, a lot of people do, don't they?
Yeah, I love my fags.
I think somebody's mentioned. Again, I'm getting another text. This is a real stupid way of doing it, but I'm not very good at this because I don't do it all the time. Did you take the Britney Spears / needlecraft?
What, I don't know what that is.
Well,
Never
right, you have. Listen, it's a code word for. Did you take the injectable? Don't mention the name. No, don't mention it. For the pants.
Are you mad? Do you
I've
think
had that question.
No, as if.
Right, yeah,
I would never, and I've never wore a face mask or done anything.
Right, okay, but don't talk anything about that.
Yeah,
The video will get down, and it'll, they'll slam me again. Not that I'm not really bothered, but
no,
I did enjoy talking to you.
No, definitely not. What are you drinking anyway, Lou?
Me, I'm drinking a lot of tonic with it.
I'm on water, believe it or not. Are you on gin and tonic?
Yes.
I thought it was. Only by the glass. I just guessed.
Yeah. I drink.
Come on, throw some more.
I don't think there's many. I don't think there's many people that don't have some vice, is there?
Mine's the fact. I used to smoke a bit of pot when I was younger as well. I used to sell drugs.
That's an interesting question. You have communications with Shamina Begum's. I don't understand how to pronounce the word.
Akune, Taz, a good bloke.
With her lawyer.
Me and Paul Goulding once met him in a service station, and we actually just pulled in a service station, and the car behind us had pulled it. No, we pulled in and parked next to a car, and who was in the car? Taz Akune, which was Shamina Begum's lawyer. I've met him, I've met him in Manchester and had a pint with him.
Yes, somebody's just mentioned that.
I have actually got him only because he offered free of charge. He's my lawyer for something. Right. I can't talk about it. I'm not allowed to talk about it. But that's who ran me to. I've spoken to him today, and he said to me not to talk about what you trying to talk about. So I really can't speak about it because there's a case ongoing. But yeah, I have. I even put a video out.
Well, there's some other interesting
in
questions.
Manchester City Centre. If people go through my not on YouTube, on Facebook, I even put a live thing on. Me and Taz met for a pint. Yeah, he's helping me with a case what's been adjourned now for 5 years. It's adjourned until I think it's the 25th of January. But I'm not allowed to speak about it, so I better shut up.
Did you, when you were selecting a solicitor, did you not think that might be a bit controversial?
Yeah, okay. I knew it was going to be. I didn't select him. Like I say, I got a phone call. No, I got a thing on Twitter offering his services, and then I got a phone call, and I said, "Yep." One, because he's a very good solicitor. I've met him, and I'd met him before, and me and Paul pretty much domed him in a service station down in, I think it was Nottingham or around that area, and he shit his pants because we was a bit nasty towards him because I think he just done some work against Tommy Robinson, and yeah, we think. And he said to me afterwards, he said, "You know what, Andy? I weren't even asked about Paul Goulding." He said, "But you was you come across as a very scary man," which I'm not. I'm just me. But anyway.
Yeah, well, that's what people are asking in the comments.
Yeah, well, let's talk about. Here's what we're going to do in the second video. I'm going to talk about all that side of things. Yeah, we're going to talk about.
I tell you what.
Alternate 8. We'll talk about alternate 8. We'll talk about Taz Akune.
All right.
We'll talk about. I'll go all through that part of it, and we'll talk about donations. And so it's going to be a good video. Yeah, everyone needs to tune in on the next one because it'll be all the thing inside.
Yeah,
A lot of people
because there is right.
Can I say one thing? Why? Just before because I need to come in in a bit.
Right,
Anyway,
Andy,
let me just say something.
Listen,
something I've
when you put
noticed
this
over the
video,
years. Go on, sorry.
right. What's happening is that I'm getting some of mods to send me some of the questions, and some of them are very difficult to ask you on this video. And I think we've given an introduction. You've said some of the things, and some of them it would be wrong of me to add. I don't feel comfortable to ask you this time.
No, I want you to. Not now, because like you say, but the next one, whatever they are, I will answer any question truthfully as I can.
They're quite personal to you. I have no knowledge of where that come from, but that's what my mods are sending me.
Let me say one little thing. I know for a fact. Something I've learned in the last 15 years of being involved with all this. Yeah, the right wing, right, do some incredible, really good, honest people. But something I've learned over the last 15 years is that the right wing is worse than the left wing when it comes to hatred and the way that they speak and the way that they do things.
Awful, absolutely.
And they all say, "Oh, the left wing of this, the left wing of that." Let me explain. You know who you are. There's some. I mean, I know, for instance, right, Potato Head Paul Goulding will be watching. He won't be watching this. He'll say, "No, it's not important to me. I don't have to watch this." But he will watch it. He'll watch it about 3 o'clock one morning in the middle of the night. He'll sit up thingy and watch. But anyway, he'll have a little team of people watching this and leaving comments under different names, whether they were called whatever they are, and he'll be saying, he would be on the phone saying, "Make sure you say that. Make sure you say it." And I know how he works. I know nobody knows him better than me.
Let me stop you a minute, because there is a couple of people that are on this channel tonight. All right, I've just been sent that are probably not on Paul Goulding's payroll or friendships that are saying, and I agree with you. Some people on the right are quite brutal.
They're evil. They're evil.
Well, I'm not sure.
The personal, they'll come out with some. Well, I've done more. Yeah. Listen, I've done all these people who come on slagging out. I've done more for the right wing than any of you put together times it 10. I've been, you go to jail, go into jail when you're on the front page of the Birmingham fucking paper, and you walk in Winston Green Jail with what's 40% Muslim, and you've got 30 fucking Muslim lads all sat on a pill table waiting for you to walk on the wing, and the screw saying as he's unlocking the gate, you're going to get some shit on their head. And I stood my fucking ground. I walked on there and I got helped. Fair dues. There was some good kids who come and stood with me. But I'll tell you, before you've been through half of what I've been through, wind you fucking necks in. That's all I'm saying. Anyway.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
I get it. Well, I think what I want to ask something is, out of all this, has it been worth it? All those years, all those prison sentences.
I've lost time with my kids. I don't, like, I've got a daughter who's very, late teens, and I've not been there for her because I've been involved with this. I've got 11 kids, mate. I've got eight boys, 3 girls, and I've missed out on my granddaughter. I've got granddaughters. I've got, and they're teenagers now, and I've missed out on a lot of things. But have I done any useful things? Yes, I have. I know I have. I've done things what I can't ever say what I've done to fight back against. I'm not, and I'll say this as well. Not these people out there who are like every Muslim in it. It's not. 99.9% of them are fucking good, honest, fucking hard-working people who put a lot of you fucking so-called British fucking people to fucking shame. Because the vast majority of them are good, honest people. There is that fucking piece of them who'll rape the kids, who'll fucking come out for world domination, who'll blow themselves up. Yeah. There's wrong ones. But there's
extremists in every community. In every community, isn't there?
Exactly.
So with God's will.
I mean, don't think I'm a I'm not into Islam one little bit. It's not a
No.
religion. I call it an ideology. It's not my cup of tea. But some people, 1.6 billion people of it, whatever it is, but it's that percentage. But if you times that percentage by how many it means that there's millions of them out there who do want to take over our country, who do want to rape our kids, who do want to enslave our women, who do want to fucking make us their slaves. You know, is that your dogs or mine?
Mine, yeah.
That's why I need to take my dog out for a walk soon. But anyway, got any more questions? We will do a good.
Somebody said that
we will do a good video next time. I know it will be.
Yeah. Well, this has been good.
Yeah, but the next one will be better because I'm going to talk.
All right then.
These people who are in the thing leaving thingy comments, I've got the thickest skin, so I don't care. But believe me, I listen to it all, and I've had it for 15 years of some, you know, who you think of, you know, people are just bitches, man, men and women. Men are worse than the women sometimes. Well, until you've done half the things I've done, or even a quarter of the things I've done and stood up, you know, you don't know half of it. I've got scars all over my fucking body through what I've had to put up with. I've been shot twice, for God's sake.
It's been a journey for you, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
I don't understand because I've never experienced anything like that. I said that I would. I've
gone into that many kebab shops and not bought a kebab, but kicked off, jumped over counters, and you don't know what I've had to do. You know, I've been macheted, my arms ripped to pieces. I've had bloody, you know, I've been shot in Bolton. I've had it all. You don't know. I've been battered. I've been dragged out my own house only literally about 6 weeks ago by 6 Greater Manchester coppers. Took to the police station and took to the only cell in the place without any cameras and kicked to fuck. Honestly, you have to see. I'll show you. I've got, you know, I've got 4 things on the go, court cases on the go against the police just at the minute by the same solicitors. NK's from bloody Liverpool. If you ever got to think about the police, go to NK. Brilliant.
Right.
Anyway, I've got loads of things you people don't know, but tune in next time because I'll speak about a lot more.
Okay,
this is just a little taste. This is a little taste of what's to come.
Yeah. Well, one last question. One of the mods texted me saying, you know, what do you have a job? And I think you explained what you did. You was a landscape gardener.
I've had my own business I had my own business down in Devon for many years. I employed up to 8 or 10 people. People will tell you that. I lived in Exmouth. I've got 4 kids down in Exmouth. I've always worked for myself. I've always had vans, and I'm a landscape gardener. The last couple of years, I've had lymphoma cancer. I'm a type 1 diabetic. I've got neuropathic pain all over my body. I'm on, like I say, that many tablets every day. I inject myself 4 or 5 times a day. I couldn't do a day's work at the minute if I tried. I've got, you know, I'm a bit, I'm a bit done in, battered and bruised, as they say. Battered and bruised.
That's how it seems. It seems that it came to a really bad end with Britain's First, and you've got a lot of bad press after all that. You know, all those years of doing what you're doing. So, you know, if people keep an open mind about things, that would be nice.
Well, I'd say to people, just listen in on the next one, and I'll explain it all. It gives you a bit of time to get all the questions together, and I'll go and I'll answer every bit of it as true. I'm not asked about, you know, like I say, I'm thick-skinned. I don't give a fuck about anybody. I live in Reading, Stockport. Quite easy to find out where I live. Come to my house, anybody. I don't give a fuck. I'm ready for anybody.
Yes, I know that you don't.
So I've got, you know,
thanks,
anyone
Andy,
who knows me, I don't.
Shall we end it there then? Shall we end it there and say thanks very much, and thanks for people for watching. Thanks for all my mods. It's so funny. I have no idea what Tommy's connected to or what he in. We're not here to talk about Tommy, really, are we?
I'll speak about something. I'll speak about something next week. But like I say, I haven't got bad word. I can't really say anything too bad about him because, you know, he's done more good than bad. That's all I can say about Tommy. Paul Goulding.
A lot of people have, haven't they? A lot of people have.
Yeah.
A lot of people
who don't. I could give you some names of people who over the years have done more for the cause than what, and you won't even know half these people because a lot of people do a lot of work in the background. There's people who just on it. There might be keyboard warriors, some of you might call them, but they do a lot of organisation. Whether there's a lot of things people don't know, and everyone just I'll go to a demo. You don't just go to a demo. Honestly, it's the organisation what comes into it. There's a lot more to it than people understand.
Okay.
Right, I'm going
to go. Very much for that.
I need to take my dog for a walk.
Okay, thanks, Andy, for that, and we'll talk next time.
Welcome.
Thanks for everybody.
And make sure everyone tune in next time because it's going to be proper good.
See
I've got a lot of things to do.
Bye, everybody.
See you later, darling. Bye.
Bye.